We can't stop until they pop up nice and hot because they taste so good. I'm moving my feet to the Poptarts. I'm moving real fast, but you won't last. With food on the inside pastry.
That's right, we're making Pop-Tarts, thanks to our amazing friends over at Bon Appetit.
Puppeteers, Pop-Tarts? Did you say you have Pop-Tarts?
Okay, first and foremost, we're going to start with our pastry dough. Pastry dough is super simple to make. We're going to do 1 1/4 cups of flour. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of sugar and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Then we're going to get our 1 stick of cold chilled butter and go ahead and cube that little bad boy up. Place it in your food processor with your dry ingredients. And we're going to blend that puppy up. Mix and mix until you get some fine granule sand. And now we're going to add our last ingredient, which is 3 tablespoons plus 1 teaspoon of cold water. Just place that right into that mixture, right back onto your food processor, and we're going to mix until we form a uniform ball. So just keep mixing. This takes a few minutes, and stop when it wraps around the blade. We want to split that dough into 2 little equal squares, wrap them in plastic, and I like to roll them out to the edges inside the plastic wrap. Throw that sucker in the fridge, and we're going to let it chill while we make our filling. We're going to take a pound of strawberries and then a pound of frozen strawberries and blend those all together. If you want to do 2 pounds of fresh strawberries, go for it. Mix that all up in your Vitamix, and then you're going to strain it through a fine sieve strainer into a sauce pot that you're going to cook it in. Make sure you scrape the bottom of your strainer to get all of that goodness out of there, and we just want to discard all those seeds. Now we're going to add our 6 tablespoons of sugar. I know, but it's going to taste awesome. Here we're going to add our sugar, mix that in, and then go ahead and start heating that sucker up. We want to get it to a nice little boil, and we just want to skim off any of the foam that comes to the top while we're cooking. We're going to get this to a really nice boil. We want to reduce this by 75%, so it took probably 25 to 30 minutes. Here you can see it's really getting a lot smaller. We want to take our spatula and scrape it through, and what we're looking for is that when we create a line, it really gradually disappears back on itself, just like this. Now we pour that hot mixture, be really careful, into a baking pan and put that in the oven for about 25 minutes. We're going to take one of our chilled doughs, flour it generously, and begin the arduous process of rolling that firm ass dough out. So it is going to take a little bit of muscle here and a little bit of patience, but we want to go ahead and roll this out to about a 1/8 thickness. Slide that parchment onto a baking pan and pop it in the freezer to chill, and repeat with the second dough, since we basically got it a little too warm by rolling it out. After about 15 minutes, we're going to take that out and take our little template here. A Pop-Tart is about 3.5 by 5 inches. So we're going to go ahead and cut out as many Pop-Tarts as we can here using a template of your choice. I like to be a little extra and do something real fanciful, so that's why I'm using this. And a pastry cutter to help get the nice edges. Now we're going to do a technique that's called docking. I just use a kebab stick and create a pattern of series of holes down through the Pop-Tarts, which is going to allow the steam to evaporate once they're cooking in the oven. Really necessary step. With the rest of my dough, I just want to get 2 more Pop-Tarts, so I went ahead and measured out with my scrap dough. Definitely do that if you want to get more out of it, and you will definitely want more. Now we're going to flavorize our amazing jam. So we're taking 1 teaspoon of lemon zest with 1 teaspoon of lemon juice from the same lemon. I did a little bit more because I like that little bit. and then mix that back up and put it back in the fridge to chill and prepare for the next step. Now we want to go ahead and take our template for our jam and measure about a 1/4 inch out. This is going to allow us to have space to seal the Pop-Tart together. So it's really helpful for you to have little templates pre-made. Take your bottom part of your pastry, add your stencil here. This is just going to help me keep my jam in a uniform pattern. It's okay if it spreads out a little bit. We can easily clean it. And again, I'm being real extra with my beautiful holographic stencils here. Peel that up and then just wipe off any excess jam that you have. Make sure it's not too thick, but the jam is really flavorful, so you don't need a whole bunch. Now we're going to take some egg wash, which is just a beaten egg, and go ahead and line the edges of that pastry. And then lay your docked piece of pastry on top and just pinch and press down around the edges to seal that. I'm going to go right back into my kebab stick to help me really seal those edges down so I'm not oozing out any filling. And it's just a simple little press down, gives me a little template guide for my last step, which is to slice off. Be very careful. Slice off your edges so we get a nice, clean, smooth edged Pop-Tart. Beautiful. We're going to bake those at 300 for about 30 to 45 minutes, and they come out so nice and puffed. Next step is the last step, which is decorating. This is a simple royal icing recipe. I'll go ahead and link that here for you since it's not my recipe, but a really great recipe that I love. You're just going to pipe out a simple little square, and then we're just going to fill that sucker in, getting a good amount of icing in there. And then again with our little skewer stick, definitely get some of these if you don't have any. We're using them a bunch. We're gonna even out that icing and apply our custom made sprinkles. You guys, I made custom sprinkles. Check that video out right here. How beautiful is this? Now we let them set overnight, and now we have to toast them. Yes, you can toast these. So once these have dried and that royal icing has hardened overnight, go ahead and heat these bad boys up in the morning to have yourself the most delicious Pop-Tart you've ever had in your ever loving life. Look at this. It's so scrumptious. I'll never eat a normal Pop-Tart again, and I'm a Pop-Tart freak. These are bananas. I will definitely be making some chocolate ones next, so stay tuned for that.